and he um, talked to Andrew, Professor Andrew, on the phone. And I think him and Isabella were gonna do some stuff. That's what I'm thinking happened. Well, I could always look through the journal. That's a good summary. Oh, right. We were waiting for Zach. We broke into his apartment. I forgot. uh, let's see. Where are we with Ash? These are other people's stuff. Are we still really early on? No, we might be. I think we were later. Around here, maybe? Hmm. Whatever. Yeah, you're visiting relatives in another town. Okay, that's good. And here I just had my relatives over for a whole week. And before that was all of the prep work, which worked out. I mean, they were comfortable. They were able to stay upstairs with no problem. And now that they're gone, I little by little will keep working on clearing out upstairs and preparing it because I do plan on moving upstairs myself. So the work's not over, but at least we won't be like rushing to get it done like we were before. Alright. But I have a concrete plan now, I think. Maybe Isabella's right. Maybe we should dig deeper into BRC itself. Maybe we are looking at it the wrong way. However, my suspicions are mine for the moment. The details are something Zach doesn't need to know until I have something to show. It's enough that he's aware that I have an idea in mind. For his part, Z-Man doesn't push it, and nothing but a heavy silence leads our departure hours later. Okay. Seriously, Zach would probably make a more responsible officer than me, if he only had the heart to join the force. I think he's better off not being in the force, though. He does a job he likes, he gets to, take pictures and stuff, and he gets to even make his own movie, so good for him. We could certainly use more kind people like him. But as good as that thought is, I push all of it into the back of my mind as Isabella and I head for my car. Tonight, I can't stay distracted. Except for a few half-hearted attempts to get some kind of reaction from Isabella, the drive to BRC is a quiet, awkward affair. More so, the hour-long wait for nightfall. Even with only the two of us, the place is rife with tense energy. Only a matter of minutes now. But the ticking seconds don't take away the edge, and for the fifth time, I reach out and fiddle with the radio, adjusting and turning the knobs with no real purpose. Oh, interesting how they're showing the radio. It's a nervous quirk I've developed and never bother to correct during stakeouts. Something to keep my mind occupied during long nights. What else is there for me to do? The person I usually count on for a casual, out-of-the-blue chat refuses my attempts at starting one. Let's talk about Rebecca, I assume.
Ash, out with it! If you have something to...
Oh! That was weird. I thought that was the end, but apparently not. Where do I... Is it the log? Backlog.
Ash, out with it! If you have something to say...
They didn't even show that she was gonna say that. That was weird. The way she quickly falters into silence after. In spite of the tone she takes, though. It makes me doubt if she really means everything she's telling me right now. She hasn't even glanced my way since we arrived.
Having second thoughts? You can still back out if you want.
We're just going to my office. Why should I?
Dunno? You can get in trouble, maybe. This isn't exactly legal.
Scope BRC out. See if the real estate company has any more information that may be of help. Find things about Cooper and the other agents assigned to the Ermengarde mansion. According to Isabella, it's the last property the victims have worked on. Sure, I could also check the station for full reports. That's the easy, semi-legal way. But I don't want to bump into Chief right now. Yeah, he kicked him off that case, so... The guys at the precinct will definitely throw me out on his orders as soon as they see me. Not that my plan right now is any better. I'm just breaking into a different place, more or less, with a civilian to boot. The latter still doesn't sit well with me. It never will. Especially if this might put her in a very tricky position afterwards. She's been very careful when it comes to her work. Almost a model employee, as people would say. Why is she throwing caution to the wind now? Because she figures that there's more important things than a job. She's more concerned about people's lives being at risk. Yeah, you remember that too, Sign? It's been such a long time. How long has it been? 3 weeks? 4? Jeez, I don't know.
I'm not an employee here. I'm not supposed to be looking for any confidential stuff. Only people like you are privy to.
If you mentioned earlier that this is your plan, I might have had enough time to think about it. I already promised to help if you need access to those files. I didn't think you'd want to see them this soon and in this way. Besides, the same goes for you, right? You were taken off your case. Won't you get in trouble with your boss?
Honestly, it's a toss-up between breaking into her office or into the Wright's mansion. As it stands, I'll have an easier time getting in here first. After all, why would someone want to break into a realty company? Since you're on the phone, you're also expecting buffering on your end? Ah, okay. Been here many times before, anyway. For a few casual visits when I wanted to bug Scaredy Cat. Over the years, I have more or less grown familiar with their security setup and how badly staffed they are. Plus, it's an old building. If the bankruptcy rumors are true, it just means their access protocols might also be outdated.
Still, I can do this on my own, you know.
Really? And how are you even planning to get into our office without an access card? Please explain.
Well, I was going to pry open the card reader and use a gecko.
You're a hopeless case. I really want to know why no one has locked you up yet.
Yet you're helping me with this. Willingly. I don't think that'll sit well with the Philippine embassy either. Chances are you'll probably get deported the minute they find out.
Low blow, I know. But it's worth a shot when she can still turn back. It's not like I don't have any means to get into the place. With or without her, I have a way.
At least I have a reason to be snooping about. My badge and rank can speak for me in case things go south. You?
I'm glad that they're mentioning this because now that I'm thinking about it, I remember that during Isabella's chapter at the end that there's a possibility like we could have gotten her killed or something. So they're clearly saying, you know, down another path that he could easily break in without Isabella's help. So that's smart that they're making that clear. I'm glad we didn't get anybody killed so far, but I'm kind of concerned. Like, no, I don't want to be, you know, screwing up at the last minute and let Ash get killed or something. Now, if Luke dies, then it's like, oh, well. It was meant to be. For a passing second, it seems to work. A hint of panic and hesitation flashes across her features when she looks to me with searching eyes. Then, unexpectedly, it dissolves, not behind the fear I'm anticipating, but underneath something sharp and searing. I'm not sure what she sees exactly, or what she's hoping to find in the short while she holds my gaze. All of it merely goes unspoken, and no longer than a minute later, she simply averts her attention back to the window, training it once again at some point outside.
Isabella, please, now's not the time.
It's too late for that, Ash. Give it a rest.
An appeal, spoken in a voice too harsh coming from her. Perhaps unintentional, perhaps one that's already too exhausted of everything going on lately. It's hard not to concede when she takes on that tone, and soon, despite myself, I sigh, tucking away every concern I've been lugging around in favor of trusting her on this, according her the same confidence she has implicitly given me all this time. So we can also load a save file in case we get Ash killed. Yeah.
Alright, okay, if that's what you want. And don't worry, I didn't mean what I said earlier. I won't let anything happen to you.
Oh, such a shy boy. Her lips briefly turn up in a smile, though none of the cheer reaches her eyes.
Just get this over with, okay? Everyone should be out of the office by now.
Somehow the uncertainty in her posture makes me wonder if she intended it as some kind of a comforting gesture. Whether it's for me or for her, she doesn't let me find out. Without saying another word, she exits the car, while I'm left scrambling and chasing after her. She's already at the side entrance, a hand raised on the card reader beside it, and another poised to push the door open when I catch up to her. Hey, Smooth, thank you so much for resubscribing. I appreciate you, but dude, you should be resting. So, Smooth was supposed to join me today, but he is unfortunately under the weather. So that's a shame because it would have been fun for him to experience this spooky game. But dude, your health comes first. Oh, if it's that bad, man, please, please go to like immediate care or ER or something. Because dehydration is serious. You could, your body could go into shock or something. Por favor. Please take care of yourself. Whatever doubt there has been in her face a while ago, it's gone. Seeing her like this makes it easier to believe my worries are unfounded. That things might go smoothly this time.
And where do you think you kids are going?
Uh-oh.
It's late. Most offices in this building have already closed up shop for the weekend.
You have to make yourself get out of bed and drink water. Yeah. If you have Gatorade, drink that too. Because that has, sugars and electrolytes, and that's important for when you're really sick. The bloke seems friendly enough, though one can't really tell from his voice alone. He might be the worry sort, for all I know. Keeping an unconcerned face in aloof air won't hurt, until I figured out how to wiggle us out of this situation. Oh, you have Pedialyte. Use it. That is definitely helpful.
Just come back on Monday if you have important business.
But from the way Isabella's face brightens up, it looks as though getting through won't be too much of a problem. He's probably been working here for a few months already then, maybe around 4 to 6 months max. Pedialyte is a special drink that people use to rehydrate themselves when they're ill. It's like technically designed for, I guess, for children, but adults can use it too. So otherwise you would have recognized Isabella or me at first glance. I haven't shown my face here since I've been assigned to the firm case a year ago. In the first place, none of their security officers ever lasted a year in service. The longest was around 7.5. That's strange. High turnaround, huh? Then again, security being a security officer, I feel like it's one of those jobs that you're either like you love it or you hate it. Like it's really boring, you can't stand it. And it can also be dangerous. I'll give this guy around that before he gets fired or finds a better paying job. For the moment, his too friendly attitude is almost a gift. I'm staying hydrated too. Even though I'm drinking water, though, I feel like my throat is still really raspy. I feel like that's the only problem with like having fans on all the time because it's so hot in the summer. When I have fans on, I'm noticing like it dries up my throat. So I feel like I'm always like having this raspy tone. And I notice it the most when I'm doing, voice acting or streaming.
Hey, Seb!
Oh, look who we have here. Been a few days since I last saw that ponytail in here, Santiago?
Close enough!
Yeah, pretty close. Almost Santos.
Wait, don't tell me yet. I'll get it right this time. Sanchez!
Nope.
You were closer the first time?
Drat. I swear it is on the tip of my tongue. I just need a hint to remember.
I take it back. This geezer's not going to last past this month. He can't even remember a regular employee's name.
Alrighty, I'm sure of it this time. Centillon?
What? Santillon? Never heard that name before.
Still a few ways off, Seb.
Isabella, we don't have all night.
I know, just let me handle this. Sorry, Seb. Some other time. We're in a bit of a hurry. I just need to get a few things from my cubicle. Important work stuff, you know? Is it okay if we drop upstairs for a sec?
Oh, absolutely. No, go right ahead. As long as you have your access card with you, we're good.
Yeah.
Not sure if I'm allowed to let your boyfriend in, though.
Who, me?
My what?
Oh, come on, you guys.
Your boyfriend. The guy with you, isn't he?
It's a fair observation, if I do say so myself. You're getting shipped. Just deal with it. Needless to say, the silence that descends is both uncomfortable and terribly awkward. Although the latter is probably coming mostly from me because in the next second Isabella laughs. Laughs. Lighter than the ones I've heard from her lately. A comforting sound, really, after seeing her in such a dour mood since this morning. Even as all of it subsides into mere chuckles sooner than I'd like. It's comforting to see that I'm at least partially responsible for it, despite my poor heart being put into a sorry pulp. Aww.
Oh. Oh, no! No. He's definitely not my boyfriend.
Oof, the lady doth protest too much? But dang. Poor Ash. She might as well have set it on fire and reduced it to dust while she's at it. Frankly, the number of no's in that sentence alone is a bit too much. Christ. One would have been enough to get the message across. Did she really have to put it that way?
That's impossible! Stop being funny, Seb. I'll go on ahead, okay?
She quickly shuffles inside with nothing more than a small wave, leaving behind an even more awkward atmosphere for me to wade through. It would have been bearable if I didn't have to suffer through a stranger's amusement. She's gonna die? Shaking my head. What, you think the ghost is gonna get her now? Uh-oh. Alas, woe is me.
Not the boyfriend, but close to it, huh?
Mind your own business.
Oh, poor Ash.
Kids these days. Good to see her up and about, though. Thought for sure she'd up and disappear like the others.
Excuse me?
You know, stuff in the news.
You mean what happened with Rose Cooper?
If I'm going to be stuck here with him for a while, I might as well try to gather as much intel as I can. Yeah, he clearly has a big mouth. He may just be a guard, someone with no real authority, but most of the time, people like him are the ones who know more than they let on.
Yeah, but even before that, never saw again.
Really? Those guys could have just resigned for all you know.
Dunno, I only catch tidbits of stuff from over here. Oh, seriously, I heard the branch is getting flushed soon, but that's no excuse for anarchy. Figures why Boss Man's been in an awful temper these past months.
They managed to strike a good deal with the mansion in Ansem, right? That didn't do the trick?
Didn't seem like it. The bloke shouting like no tomorrow again. Wasn't very pleased when Gurley called and asked for another leave yesterday afternoon.
Gurley? Isabella?
It's not too surprising considering she's already been gone for 3 days. Now she's asking for another? Not that it's a bad thing, it's within her rights as an employee, but Isabella rarely uses her work leaves.
Yeah, poor Lassie if you ask me. She found him a buyer for that mansion after all. The least he could do is be considerate to her after a family member's passing.
Oh. Did her dad die? That explains a lot, but I don't know when that happened because we didn't see that happen in her chapter.
Wait, what?
The rumors, BRC, Rose Cooper, missing in action employees. All of it ceases. Kiki! Sorry, guys. Kiki's barking. Missing in action employees. All of it ceases to matter in that instant. Almost on instinct, my eyes zero in on the intercom speaker, as if staring daggers at it will show me the man behind the voice, so I can see the truth in his face myself.
Oh, you don't know?
No, what?
Nothing. I shouldn't be the one you're asking, and, you know, things might get a bit boring here. No one really wants to hear what a poor old guard wants to say.
So, are we allowed to go up now?
Why don't you just go after her?
Yeah, excellent.
As long as you're not looking to create trouble for me, it won't be a problem. You aren't here for that, right?
He's lucky I'm not here to hurt anyone. If I were someone with ill intentions, he might not be smiling at the end of the day.
Well, no, but...
I'll go and unlock that side entrance for you then. Just don't forget to turn off the lights before you both leave, okay?
Hey, wait a second. What do you mean by...
He cuts off the connection before I can finish, and the rest of my question dies in my throat. Soon the latch clicks and the side door swings open. The Seb, a stout man, wearing a uniform still too loose for him, waves me over from the gap before he disappears behind his station again. Just my luck. Here I thought I'm going to have to count on whatever Isabella brings with her. Although no matter how much I want to feel happy, something else has already taken a firm seat in the forefront of my mind. Is that why she's been acting not like herself today? Since when? Of course, as I step into the building, I try to push all of these questions as far down as I can. I need to focus. Work is work. I feel bad because I know that her father was sick and she was sending all that money for him to get health care. And she has all these little sisters and brothers, so I think it's going to be hard for her mom to have to take care of all those kids now. But if what I've heard is exactly what I think it is, it's a sign of things to come. Hey, a sign! Sign, your name is there. You just want to know where he got that jacket from? That jacket is his style, so who knows, man. Maybe it's a one of a kind. Honestly, I don't feel too good about that. Oh, elevator. Are we in for a spooky scene already? I hope not. It's a quiet ride up to the 7th floor, where the BRC Luxborn main office is. Seb has been kind enough to switch the guest elevator's power on, just as I'm about to head for the fire exit stairs. Which is a welcome relief. I'm an active guy, but stairs? I don't want to tire out too quickly in case things get ugly. Well, things could get ugly in an elevator too, so I'm ready. This feels foreboding. Like, as soon as that opens, like, you're gonna see the ghost standing right there. I mean, if you're trapped in an elevator, there's no way you can escape, so she could just easily just kill him right there and then. Ugh. There probably won't be any trouble with the building this quiet, but you never know. I swear, the whole place definitely feels eerie at this time of night. Ha. Oh, we're building it up. But until I've confirmed anything, those are still just stories. Worse things can happen. No need to scare myself. Staying calm means fewer mistakes.
Though I sure am fucking gutsy, especially with what I'm doing.
I'm breaking a lot of laws here. I'm also putting Isabella in a lot of risks. That's good for you, Smooth. That's good. If it wasn't for my fear of heights and all that, stairs was not a big deal back in the day. Now I'm like, ugh, I don't like them. It depends on the type of stairs. Like, if it's just 1 or 2 flights and if it's, like, designed a certain way that I feel secure, then it's not a problem. But if it's a longer one or if it's one that has, like, weird curves or angles or something, then I'm not so comfortable. Best thing that can come out of this is that Isabella's right all along. Worst case scenario? 1. Someone finds out Isabella's involvement in this and her boss fires her. 2. I find evidence that would implicate BRC or Luke Wright in a crime, and my meddling, if I'm not careful enough, makes it inadmissible in court. Though I'll be honest, I strongly prefer losing my job or facing Wright over some spirit or ghost or whatever it is. Yep. Yeah, I'm scared of height. I feel like I wasn't scared of them before. I feel like it developed ever since my balance issue kicked in, so maybe it's connected to that. You've seen too many scary movies. What's your favorite scary movie, Smooth? And how about you, Sign? Do you watch any scary movies? You could always work around the problems with the former. Isabella could also find a better job. BRC never did pay her properly, despite her efforts. But fighting off a phantom? How does one even do that? Do guns even work with them? You gotta watch Supernatural, man. Maybe we gotta try the good old salt. Try some salt, or find like a weapon of iron, like a fire poker stick. Those are what they usually use in that show. Like, they would put rock salt as their ammo in their shotguns, and that's how they would fight the ghosts. And then they would like find, or they'd have to like dig up their bones or like find some kind of article that was clearly precious to them, like an item, and they would burn it, and that was what the spirit would attach itself to remain in this realm, right? But who knows if that's what's going to happen here. There's literally a movie called Devil that takes place in an elevator and almost everyone dies. Oof. Oof. Never heard of it, but oof. Nope, no scary movies from me, though Dad does put some scary movies on TV from time to time if he finds them. He's a brave man. I'm weird. Like, there's some scary movies that I can handle, and then there's some that I can't. I'm thinking, like, the genre that bothers me the most is Japanese style, which is why this game scares me so much. That kind of ghost who looks and acts like that and makes those sounds, like The Ring and The Grudge, like, I can't handle that at all. I can handle stuff like regular, like, zombie stuff doesn't scare me. Like regular, I don't know, ghosts or demons and stuff, like it's spooky, or like maybe I'll get a jump scare reaction at times, but it doesn't terrify me, you know? Like, I can watch it and then I won't have any nightmares that night, or I won't be like paranoid. But if I watch something like The Ring or The Grudge, I'll have like this paranoia. It's weird. What is it about Japanese or Korean horror that just like gets to me? I don't know. Of course he is. He worked in the military. Oh, your dad was a military man. Okay. I wouldn't give the grudge girl a hug. Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Yeah, he's responding for me. But tonight, I'm here to fix things. If I do it without leaving a trail, all the better. Good thing that's what I'm good at. Okay. Oh, achievement unlocked. Easy way in. And that's because we had Isabella with us. Oh, I forgot how spooky. So, this is funny because I feel like if Smooth had been with me during the stream as intended, he would have freaked out at this scene because it's dark and creepy looking. Right, Smooth? Would this have scared you? What I'll probably never be good at is finding the proper words when a sitch calls for it. Ha, sitch. That reminds me of Kim Possible. She used to say, "What's the sitch?" Video game darkness is the worst. Yeah, I knew this would have gotten to you. But seeing Isabella's small form beyond these doors, as she pushes through despite carrying an entirely different burden this time, how she's pretending as if everything's normal, it's difficult not to try. People who have never looked beyond her smiles will never know, will never understand. Hell, even Rebecca is probably not yet aware of this. Yeah, sitch is like short for situation. So it's like a slang. Because I can't control what happens, I'm not afraid of the dark IRL. That's alright, Smooth. I get it. We have other problems at hand. I've done the same thing plenty of times to protect myself, after all. But it's all in her eyes when she glances up at the few light raps I give the door. She wastes no time in leaving the mess of papers on the table and opening it for me, though even her confusion as she takes in my presence barely hides it.
Seb, let you in?
The rough edge in her voice rings a whole different tune now that I'm aware why. But knowing is different from hearing it straight from her. I can't simply bring this up, can I? It's not a topic suited for casual conversation, and I doubt she wants to talk to me about it. As much as I want to help, there's a distance between us I'll never be able to cross. One that wouldn't even be there if it wasn't for me. Perhaps if I had been more honest years ago and less of a coward, I might have been able to. Aw. Figures, I couldn't even do that for the one person I keep telling myself that I care deeply about.
What can I say? I'm a very charming person.
To a rock, maybe.
Damn. This is the closest we can get to it, I suppose. The light banter, the fleeting glances, or sometimes the long bouts of silence. And it's enough. For me it is. Because even without words, there's comfort. With her, it's easy.
Must be a pretty cool rock then.
Ugh, get over yourself.
See, he has no chemistry with Rebecca, in my opinion. Not like romantic chemistry, maybe friend chemistry, but even then, she's too naggy, too much like a mom at times, and too demanding and needy for me to see them as anything more than friends. I think, honestly, Rebecca had the best interactions with Luke of all people. And I don't get it, but it is what it is. Like, even the way she treats Isabella, sometimes I'm like, no, don't do that, don't.
Hey now, I deserve some slack here. Today's supposed to be my day off, and yet here I am helping you out.
Helping. By standing at the door.
Well, you're not exactly letting me in.
Despite what she says, she moves to block me when I try to enter. She must have expected this the second we walked up the building's entrance and counted on the night shift guard to bar me from the place. It's reassuring to know she's somehow worried about me, although it's a bit misplaced at the moment. Besides, her concerns aside, I really can't let her get into the thick of things without me. Not with all of the problems on her plate right now.
Isabella!
Seriously, Ash, Seb might get in trouble for this. You might get in even bigger trouble with your boss.
Whoa, that was weird. Why did he say it like that? The way he shouted was as if he saw her getting attacked by the ghost or something.
Isabella!
Yeah, that's not normal. Was that a glitch? Like, did they just put the wrong voice line there? Like, he was supposed to be like, Isabella, or, you know, something like that. Not screaming.
And you're not?
Yeah. I think that was a oopsie. Oh, that was weird. They must have just put the wrong voice line there. Oh, that's funny. Oh, crap. But that means that something creepy and crazy is going to happen for him to sound like that. Oh, no.
We've already talked about this back at Zach's. It's out of the question.
Can't get over it. Isabella! I can't get over it. It's gonna be in my head now. And then going back to like a casual conversation. I love it. Oh.
At least do it for Seb, please. He's a really nice guy. With the way things are going here, he's...
On that, I agree with her. Seb's not such a bad fellow. Might be a little careless with his job and talks too much, but he means well. I'd hate to see the guy leave here with a bad record in case something goes wrong. However, the anxious looks she shoots back at the table behind her... Ooh, that sentence seems wrong to me. The anxious looks she shoots back at the table behind her, that's what it needs, bring in, and then a comma, bring an even bigger worry.
Did you find something? Aside from what you told me about yesterday?
Not yet. I'm not sure. I haven't started going through the files we have in the records room. Just the ones they handed to me and Rose.
Let me see.
Wait, Ash!
Isabella, I already promised you that no one's going to get in trouble after we're done here. Even Seb.
Yeah, having a clip of that moment would have been funny. I've never been good at clipping stuff. Like, either my own stream or other people's. I'm just too lazy and like, I don't want to do that. Even though I know it has some funny moments. Ah, well.
I'll make sure we leave the place clean.
Her hesitation's still there. A split second of indecision as she tries to form an argument. Eventually, when nothing comes to mind, she steps aside.
Okay, but we can't take the original files out of this office, clear? Not even a single sheet. We'll just have to make a copy.
Yeah.
Don't worry, that's the plan.
It appears to reassure her. A nod, then shortly she gestures for me to follow. Passing the sea of cubicles, I can't help but take in everything in their office, a force of habit for the most part. As far as I know, BRC Luxburn used to own this whole building. Offices in several floors, once upon a time when real estate was still a lucrative business for the company in this side of the country. Then competition showed up, and suddenly everything's not so good anymore. It only got worse as the years went by. Or so, according to the rumors. Now the branch is just this floor, despite what the huge sign in the building's facade says. And frankly, it's not too hard to believe when one looks at the state of this room right now. A number of desks have been cleared out. Oof, that's a really high cubicle. I'm glad that I'm not living the cubicle life anymore, now that I'm working from home. I do miss, like, the desk itself was pretty good because it was a rising desk. So it was nice to be able to stand whenever I wanted. And it was very clean and neat and organized, and it was a little more comfortable than what I have right now. But I am planning on changing my setup very soon so that I can be more comfortable. Personal mementos are scarce, as if the employees had gone on an exodus. That'll be the downsizing, probably. Still worrisome, though. Of course, I shake away all of this when Isabella starts handing me the papers she's been looking through. Focus, Frey. There's no point in whining or dwelling any longer on it. That's why we're here in the first place, to find out what the real deal is the old-fashioned way. Isabella's presence is a whole other blessing, too. I couldn't imagine how long this would take if I pushed going in here alone.
Is this everything? Where are the documents you mentioned?
Still locked up in the records room. Do you need them now?
Bring them here. Everything that has to do with the mansion's sale. Even those who worked on it during the renovations. The cleanup. Everything. Including your mandatory sign-in sheets.
It's an odd thing to bring up, but at least it elicits a laugh from her before she heads for the records room. She remembers. And no matter how weak the sound of it is from her usual ones, it's a welcome thing to hear. It reminds me that the Isabella I know is still in there. I don't know what they're referring to. She returns minutes later with a thick stack of folders and binders. For the next half of the hour, we work in complete silence while we dig into everything compiled in the folders. Not an easy task, considering how thick the whole thing is, but there's two of us. In fact, Isabella does most of the work, sorting the contracts, the employee list, and stuff we won't need into a neat pile. Just the files for the restoration alone makes up a stack of papers that's an inch thick. Third-party service providers hired for, I think they meant to say, for the masonry, radiators, woodworking, plaster work, slate roofing, and a whole bunch of other things are well documented. Hell, every single contractor who worked on the project were listed individually, even if they were just there to do the plumbing. It's a high-profile and high-cost estate, all right. You hate paperwork, but being in the military made you used to it. Yeah. I used to have to deal with a lot of paperwork. Now all of my paperwork is on the computer. So I have to hurt my eyes staring at paperwork all day long. Trying to read everything. All those medical records. But with that scope comes the loopholes. Means plenty of room to hide something in if there's something fishy going on. All I have to do is find a pattern. And it doesn't take long. Upon closer glance, despite the original owners shouldering the renovation costs, it'll be surprising if they've managed to break even on the Ermengarde mansion. What with the additional expenses for the open house, the commission of their agents, and other overhead fees. At one point, the negotiations to get it listed under BRC's name almost broke down, too. Some disagreement about the listing price. The owners wanted to be rid of it as quickly as possible, while keeping the worth at a profitable level. BRC was insisting on a higher amount, double what the appraiser suggested. This, plus the rumor that their branch is closing. BRC Luxburn really is in the red, and the sale of the mansion could have easily been a desperate move to keep the branch afloat. And Sign also had to deal with paperwork. Yep, it is what it is. I'm cool because I work from home. Not really. I don't think I'm cool. I think the fact that I can do it is cool. I don't think I am cool.
No wonder the final sale happened as fast as it did. Did you know about this?
No, they took it off our hands after I submitted the final documents for the sale. I didn't even know until I read this. I'm not sure if Rose did. I've only been given the key to the records room after she... Anyway, my point is, they've kept all the files from me.
Poor Rose. The first victim that we could do nothing to save.
Rose was the one who compiled everything from our side. And even then, she was probably not aware of this. There's only so much they let us know. After that, they just told us to wait for our commission, and that the legal team would handle the rest. The rumors are true, huh?
Seems so.
Sheesh. This place is just unlucky. Going bankrupt while the rest of this crap is happening. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. But this isn't what we're looking for. What we need is the who. The people aside from Isabella and Cooper involved in this business with the mansion. And the how they are now. We can't do much with the outside contractors. They won't be on file. The employee list, on the other hand, even with 2 people working through the pile, the whole task still takes quite a while. It's a quarter of an hour later when we put down the papers with a sigh and move on to the clients upon Isabella's insistence. For that, the sign-in form from the open house comes in handy. Something that gives me a laugh when I spy the fake name I wrote on one of these sheets. Ah, that's why they were laughing. Open house sign-in, because he was there. Let's see, Hannah. Pretty handwriting. Luke. His is a little weird. Richard Frank. Oziah Ventug. That's a weird name. Ash Lee. Well, that's a fancy signature, Ash. So his name was Ash Lee. Charles Laseñas, whose signature looks very weird to me. Doesn't even look normal. They're very round. Marcy Ty. Lauren Stiles. Doesn't even say, like, her signature doesn't even look like Stiles. That looks like another L. Madeline Williams. Beatrice Wild. Just BW. But Ash's signature is very fancy, very pretty.
Why'd I even pick this name? It sounds so lame.
Ashley, yeah. Well, it is what it is, buddy.
What name?
Nothing important. Just focus on those papers you have. We need to finish this soon, before Seb suspects anything.
She snatches the paper away before the thought of hiding it occurs to me. Not that there's much secret in it. Isabella found me that afternoon anyway, but still.
Ash Lee?
I've been careless that day, tailing Luke Wright without confirming where they were headed off to. While the butler's terribly efficient in keeping the Wrights' engagement from the public eye, there are other ways if only I've given it the time of my day. In retrospect, I've been too eager, too impatient to find something that'll crack the case and be done with it. Maybe my failure goes as far back as the day of the open house, not during the party last night.
Yeah, well, I was pressed for time.
Seriously? Ash Lee? Were you even trying?
Oh, come on. You didn't even notice I was the one who wrote it down.
Of course I wouldn't. Only an idiot would use his real name.
Yeah, he did. Well, the Ash part. Well, is his middle name Lee? No. I thought it was Ashley Frey. No, it's just Ashton Frey. Okay.
It worked, though. Admit it. It's genius. Who would have thought, huh?
She responds with a roll of her eyes, then drops the matter entirely by shoving the paper back to my hands. We lapse back to our respective tasks afterwards, wordlessly skimming through everything. Read, set aside, get another one. Looking back at the sign-in sheet, I spot Luke Wright and Hannah Wright listed up top. Not that I don't know about them already, of course, but scanning through the list, a name immediately comes to my attention. Which one?
Madeline Williams.
Why?
Something wrong?
Huh? No, just that I remember this girl listed here.
She frowns, moves her seat closer, and takes a careful read at the sheet. There's a long moment before she speaks up again, but from the way she tenses, she appears to be expecting the worst already.
What about her?
She was with me, in the group following Cooper, when we toured the upstairs part of the mansion, I mean. Rather loud one, especially when we took a peek into the attic. Kept talking about the ghost stories the whole tour.
Oh.
Then, do you? Do you think she's...
She was reported missing 3 days after.
The ghost didn't like that you were talking shit, Madeline. The ghost is like, how dare you talk and spread stories about me? There was a ruckus at the precinct the day her family filed it. Threats were naturally given at the lack of progress days later. Desperate ones. Her family's willing to shell out all the cash they have just to find her. To no avail, unfortunately. So... when we found, last left Marianne, wasn't she locked in the cell and there was a skull there? But no, there's no way that Madeline could have decomposed to be a skull already. I'm just wondering. Was she one of the people locked down there? Because they haven't found her body, so what did the ghost do with it? You know, did she just lock her down there or did she do something else? Officer Benjamin has been in a bad mood ever since he spoke with them, but what can he do? What can we do? He's tied. We're all tied. There's only so much we're able to do, with everything that has been shoved into our hands recently. Unless something ate her. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Is there anything that would eat her body completely like that? Maybe rats? Would rats eat her? I don't know. It's gross. Ugh.
She still hasn't been found. It's already been a week.
No, if it's been a week, there's no way she's just a skull right now. That's too soon. Isabella makes no further comment aside from a nod. Instead, she sits back on her chair with a distant look in her eyes, her hands balling to a fist as she struggles with her frustration. Or maybe it's anger. But the moment doesn't last too long. Soon her grip loosens and she folds her hands back on her lap. Her expression, however, it's one I've seen too many times in the mirror. Fungi? Yeah, I don't know. What does one say to a person burdened not by one loss, but many, who carries it in her shoulders like a badge of shame? I've yet to find the answer to that myself. Until then, the only way is forward. Press on to see where our attempts at fixing our mistakes might lead us. And despite my own doubts, a glimpse of that look on her face is enough reason for me. I can't just give up. There's too much at stake, too much to lose. With a renewed focus, I continue. On the third and last sheet, I spot another one, Beatrice Wilde, one I recall from the newspaper obituaries. Died of a heart attack. Oof. A letter of correspondence expressing condolences to her family confirms as much in her files. Passed away at age 74 in her sleep. I'm wondering. So she was an older woman. Did the ghost appear and like scare her so she had a heart attack or what, you know? Oh, you were having pixels. Okay. Glad it got fixed.
She's at that age. It certainly could have been a natural death.
Right? I'd like to believe so. Let 3 more letters turn up when I rummage through the stack, and it leaves nothing more than foreboding feeling in me. They're all addressed to families of clients who have passed away in the past week. Regardless, these go into the pile of things worth looking into after our visit here, along with William's info sheet. There are just so many names, so many faces, each one I've seen that day. Here I am wondering if they're all right. It isn't a selfless thought that brings the question to mind. Rather, it's the logic that if more of them are still alive, the more people I can choose to question. Nothing's concrete yet, of course. These are just speculations. But now we're making progress. Now you understand Justin's pain? What do you mean, Sign? Once done with the signed-in sheets, I stash it along with the growing pile to my left and pull out as many of the other documents Isabella has already prepared for me. We're working through the employee list now, those who have been assigned to the mansion. Because if Isabella was to be believed, if what she's seen and what happened to Rose Cooper is because of that letter, I need to know everyone who has possibly read it aside from the three of us, if they've been noticing strange things too. For all I know, these may have just been a terrible coincidence. Although the thought of that starts to diminish as we dig into the BRC's company files. 15 minutes later, the stack close to my elbow has risen from 5 to 21 different dossiers. Client and employee documentation. People who have either visited the open house or worked on the property in some capacity since the letter's discovery. You remember he said something like watching Pharaoh streams in 144p. Oof. That is rough. Turns out there were 2 more employees who handled the mansion directly, aside from Cooper and Isabella. Christian Tsai, the realty specialist, and Mark Julius Jean-Marie, the estate appraiser.
This C guy, he was in custody just the other day.
Oh, C, not Tsai. Okay.
Really? Sir John has been looking for him. He stopped reporting to work a few weeks ago. Are you sure it's the same person?
Yep, this is him. Folks at the precinct said they went to his house after a noise complaint.
Mm-hmm.
They found him just acting all crazy. Had to take him in when he started getting violent.
Oh.
He kept screaming about a woman.
Oh, no. The ghost drove him crazy. Poor guy. Immediately, she stiffens. I don't want to bring it up or imply a connection to Isabella's story, but that is exactly what happened.
It was driving the guards mad, but he didn't last too long in there. A few hours in, and he just started bashing his own head against the wall, and, well, it was messy, to say the least.
Oof, so is he dead?
Oh no, we had no idea. Is he okay? HR just marked him as AWOL because none of their calls would get through.
Oof.
He's in the hospital right now. I heard they're putting him into a psychiatric ward as soon as he recovers. He's still a bit unstable.
Is she gonna bother going back to kill him, or she's okay with him being crazy and locked up? Jean-Marie, on the other hand, his employee file notes his date of leaving and even when his final payment had been given. Along with it, there's a letter to his family about the appraiser being found dead in the office. Communication is hush-hush, and there's mention of compensation if they don't talk about it to the media. Now it's starting to sound a bit like a cover-up. Inspector Abigail has often scolded me for not reading the reports on a regular basis, but I try to keep up to date as much as I can. When I do, I make sure I'm aware of the gist of what's going on in my city. This never reached the police's ears or the health and safety executive.
Do you know about this guy?
One glance at her says everything. They've hidden it from the media. They've kept it from the police. It's not surprising this will also be a secret from someone of Isabella's position in this company. Fuck.
Rose was looking for him. Last week. We haven't heard anything from him either. Until now. They never mentioned this to us.
Oof. Business going under and someone dies while working here? Of course they want to keep that quiet. It's bad publicity. This whole thing is just getting freakier by the minute. Nevertheless, I hand the files for Isabella to make a copy of.
The pages with their names, addresses, and contact numbers will do. We'll start with the ones who live within the city.
Sometimes there are things you really can't just brush off as a mere coincidence. In my line of work, once a pattern pops up, it's only right to be suspicious. Especially the things with Psi, or C. It hits too close to the stuff my own friends have been telling me.
All of this?
Oh, she really whispered. It's considerably thinner than the one she brought in. Yet somehow the way she hugs the folders close to herself makes it seem heavier. Like she's hanging on to it in the same manner one will latch on to a lifeline.
Only the noteworthy ones.
And those that might still be alive. Might. She doesn't need to know that.
We can't check the outside contractors, but the guys with the direct connection to BRC and the people who attended the open house should be enough. We don't have time to see how everyone's doing, especially if what you said is true.
Hey, I'm proud of you, Ash. You're finally opening up your mind and you're like, yeah, this is too sus. There's something else going on here. For a second, she appears to about to argue, then quickly decides against it and hides it away before anyone reads the question in her face. Then, in a too abrupt motion, she turns toward the copier and gets to work. Oh, that startled me. Alright, well, it is now 12 o'clock and my voice is already ready to just give out. So, I don't think that was a choice, so. So we're gonna leave this stream right here, just about an hour. I would have loved to keep going, but my throat's like, no. See, this is why Sign and I have a good method that I do an hour and then she does an hour, or vice versa. I think an hour is as much as the throat can just hang in there before it starts giving out. Don't you dare, no. Dude, I can't help it. But at least we made some progress. Nothing too spooky happened, thankfully, but it probably will next time. So you dodged a bullet, Smooth. So did I for now. But I'm sure next time something will probably happen. It's too dark and creepy in here for nothing to happen, right? Thank you so much for joining and watching, you two. I really appreciate you guys. I hope you feel better, Smooth. I really do. But that will be it for today. So until next time, have a great rest of your day.